welcomes to Wrestling Showdown Rewind here on the W3L network. Every Sunday at 12 o'clock, where else would you want to be, particularly if you hit the subscribe button, which I trust you have, because if you have, I want to tell you again. And when you have, you get notified every time we unleash an edition of Wrestling Showdown Rewind, or we put anything up on the W3L network. Now, as you know, we are dipping into the W3L archives here on Rewind, and that is just until we can bring you some live action. Because who doesn't want to see live W3L action? Obviously we are limited as to when we can do that. We'd do it next week if we could. But unfortunately, due to various government guidelines and restrictions, that is just not possible. These are our current dates. We had events in April that we had to reschedule, and they've had to be rescheduled again, and now they've been rescheduled. So this is what we're currently looking at. Obviously, we are beholden to various rules and restrictions. Again, as much as we'd love to bring you live events, everybody needs to be safe. It needs to be fine for us to do so. So we are keeping tabs on stuff. As soon as we know when we can bring you stuff, we will let you know. If you got tickets back in April for our events there, just keep them. They will remain valid. There's a couple of special offers if you check out the small print as well, just for you people who bought them back in April. So thank you to everyone who's got those tickets and keep hold of them. They will be used at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. And when we do come back, we'll have Crafty Connoisseur joining us, because they're sponsoring every live W3L event. They did it last year, they're doing it this year, and this is paid off quite nicely for them this year, let's be honest. So they are still active. Check out their website. You can make a purchase from there. Pick up on the amazing spirits that they have on sale. They've often got special offers on. If you check out their social media, you'll see what they are. Make a purchase, send it straight to you. Tell them that we said hello. And if you're making purchases, chuck us a little bit of money. We've got a fan support package you can buy. Prices start at £5, so something that suits every single budget. And if you make a purchase, you will get cheap ringside tickets for any W3L show of your choice. You get a DVD, a signed poster, and an exclusive video message from a W3L star of your choice. You can pick one up from our website, but more on that in a bit. Now we keep dipping into the archives, and we keep moving through the years, and we've now reached 2007, and this particular match is going to put Mike Musso against Nathan Reynolds. And I know what you're thinking, we saw them not that long ago here on Wrestling Showdown. That is true. That was a match from 2014 with Reynolds defending the heavyweight championship against Mike Musso. There's no titles in line here, and this is Reynolds' second ever W3L match. His first one was against Mike Musso, and he came up kind of short, so he wanted a rematch. That's what we've got. That's one of the amazing things of being able to dip into the archives here on Rewind. We're getting to see wrestlers as they were, getting to look at the past, remembering people that are perhaps no longer wrestling anymore, seeing as how they used to be. I personally think it's been a fantastic look at the history of Scottish wrestling, and indeed W3L in particular. And this will be no exception. An early Reynolds versus Musso match. We know what they went on to do. We've seen the amazing matches they had against each other, and this is one of the foundations of that. So let's not delay any further. Let's get down to ringside as Mike Musso takes on Nathan Reynolds.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Fordyce with your Wrestling Showdown Rewind, and we head all the way back to the February of 2007 to the ex-Servicemen's Club in Kelty for this contest. Nathan Reynolds, and yeah, that's him in the black singlet, takes on Mike Musso in what appears to be a pair of trousers that he's stolen from Kevin Nash's closet. And in the corner is Amy, paralysed arguably by fear, I'm guessing, but she's not left the ring yet, and going straight after Mike Musso. She's the valet of Nathan Reynolds, and Musso has got hold of her. She tried to slap the taste out of Musso's mouth. You notice he doesn't even have his usual beard to protect his face there, and Amy runs into Reynolds. And things have not gone well for these two at the start of this contest. Nathan Reynolds really on the back foot now. He jumped Musso because this is the second time these two have met. This is Reynolds' second ever W3L match. It's a rematch from their previous encounter back in the December of the previous year, at the night before Christmas event. And so this is the the rematch from that, and Nathan Reynolds wants to start it at a high velocity. And yes, over the weeks, months, years here on Wrestling Showdown Rewind indeed, we've seen these two in battle countless times. We saw them not too long ago in a match from 2014 right here on Rewind, where it was Reynolds defending the heavyweight championship against Musso. Obviously neither man has a title at that point. Reynolds still very early in his career, as you can see. So wearing a slightly different singlet, looking a little leaner than he would become later on. Musso hits that hip toss. Musso go for the cover. He's going to wrap it up here. Oh, not quite yet. But it's really interesting to dip into the archives, as obviously we've been doing on Rewind. Is Musso bringing the roof down, quite literally. Northern Lights powerbomb, a move he doesn't use anymore, and smashes the ceiling. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's all going on here. No wonder we've dug this one out of the archives, because this is such a great way to see the history of these two men. Musso, well known, well beloved by every W3L fan who goes for cover yet again. But here he is, again 2007, still fairly early in his career, and Amy grabbing the ankle of Musso. Now, Reynolds doesn't normally have a manager, certainly in the last few years here in W3L. Obviously he's only made sporadic appearances in the last couple of years. But there he is Amy at ringside, and it's obviously benefited him to some degree. And again, it's fun being able to look back on these people, as Reynolds just rams Musso in the corner, attacking the lower back, to see the things that they did, see how they were before they became the people that you know, before they would mature, as Reynolds hits that knee lift. They're going down for a cover here, but Musso kicking straight out. Again, these two are going to have a long rivalry. Neither man knew it at the time, but they obviously would. As Reynolds comes in and just sends Musso at the far corner again. I think he's targeting the back here. That's what he's been doing with these Irish whips. Musso gets launched once more, and see collapses. Pain in his spine. We've seen Musso with back problems over the years here at W3L. But yeah, this is one of the fun things about Rewind. Seeing wrestlers in their formative years, seeing what they used to be like. You can see the contrast as Reynolds throttling Mike Musso in the middle rope. Again, Reynolds would eventually kind of become more of a fun fan favourite, as Amy throttling Mike Musso on that middle rope. Having that Valley's benefiting Reynolds, certainly. Let's actually talk about Amy in some respects, because she's pretty much the forgotten woman of Scottish wrestling. She and Sarah started around roughly the same time, both valleying for various wrestlers, and indeed their first match was against each other, and Amy only ever wrestled like a handful of matches. She was certainly good enough to be part of the tournament. Nathan was going for a cover off that side slam, only next for two, and Amy was part of the tournament to crown the first ever W3L Women's Champion. That was back in the August of 2007. She lost in her match to Brittany Knight, who of course she now better known as Paige from WWE infamy. And I mean, her career only lasted about 3 years or so in wrestling. And one thing led to another, and she would eventually leave. And now she has a family, she runs her own business as well. She's doing pretty well for herself, and she has actually just about a year ago did tentatively make a return to pro wrestling, although 2020 has pretty much torpedoed everybody's wrestling plans, so she's not done a huge amount, but she's back these days, calling herself Brandy Max. But yes, that is the same person. She does start out as Amy. And so yeah, people have kind of forgotten about her. They all know Sarah, they all know the stuff that she did. She became the matriarch of Scottish women's wrestling. She helped set the template, if you like, for what all the other females did, as Reynolds hits that spinebuster. It goes to the cover. It's a movie with employed to great effect over the years. But people forget that Amy was there at the start as well, and she helped build the foundation for the Scottish women's wrestling scene. And it's nice as Musso just boots Reynolds right between the eyes, to be able to dip into the archives like this on Rewind, the extensive W3L archives, as Musso with a sunset flip. Hold on, is this going to wrap this one up? He's got Reynolds up in the corner. So it's nice to dip into the archives and to see people like Amy, as he, way too close to the ropes, who in many ways has been forgotten about. And it's nice to be able to say that actually, yeah, she was part of this. She helped establish the Scottish women's wrestling scene. Moves with an attempt at a crucifix. It didn't quite go the way he planned. Reynolds a bit too close to the ropes. As Musso going for another kick, and Reynolds sweeps the leg. We're going to get to see a Boston Crab here. I think that's what he's going for. We see both of them busting out moves, and it's weird to see Musso without his trademark beard. And it's weird to see him pleather as well, and thankfully his taste in ring attire has improved. Musso crawled the ropes, and Amy trying to pull the rope away. Referee Clarence having a go at her there. And Musso's on the rope though, so having to break the hold as Reynolds, but he takes every single bit of that 5 count, and now pushing Clarence, who pushes him back. They both men argue with each other. Clarence is the authority here in W3L, certainly back in 2007. Nobody messed with him. And Reynolds got this match going his way. Okay, he started off, as you can see, as a rule breaker, doing whatever it took to get the job done. As he drops Mike Musso. Fireman's carry at the ace crusher. Goes for the cover. Is this going to wrap it up? No, it doesn't yet. But over the years, Reynolds would realise the benefit of having the crowd on his side, and would somewhat turn his allegiances, and it benefited him. I mean, again, former 2-time W3L heavyweight champion. Oh, Reynolds holds up the ropes, and wait a minute, I think Amy grabbed his foot. I think she thought Musso was coming in and grabbed it by accident. And Musso with a big boot. That's one of the problems sometimes with having a valet at ringside. If they're not entirely concentrating, it can go wrong. Musso with that short arm clothesline. Musso calling for the DDT. The move taught to him by none other than Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, here's the thing, it's 2020. I mean, in another, name's in April. Another, version of history might have seen Roberts managing Mike Musso in AEW, not Lance Archer. Anything's entirely possible. Musso going over to Amy, and Reynolds charged in. Musso moved, and he clobbered her. There's the DDT. That's going to end it, I am sure. Goes for the cover, and Mike Musso no! Hold on, Amy's dragged Clarence from the ring. Obviously couldn't make the 3 count there, and she's just flattened him on the floor. The referee is being assaulted and taken out, so he can't register the 3 count victory. Musso looking to see what's happened. Amy's jumped in the ring. Fair play to her, she's not showed any signs of fear. She's not backed down, and she's got physically involved when she needs to. As Reynolds jumps over her and hits that spear. I mean, fair play to Amy. She really works hard for her charge, doesn't she? She's really given her all to help Reynolds get this victory, knowing that he lost to Musso back in the first time they wrestled back in December of last year. She's going to make sure he doesn't lose again. Clarence back to his feet, just arguing with Amy. Reynolds set up another spear, and he nails her. Mike Musso moved out the way, and Amy got caught with the spear. Musso's got hold of Nathan Reynolds and hits the merchandiser. Will this claim another scalp for the merchandise, Mike Musso? Yes, it does. Mike Musso overcomes the tactics of Nathan Reynolds and Amy to gain the victory this week on Wrestling Showdown Rewind.
Mike Musso gains the victory over Nathan Reynolds in one of the earliest encounters, and you can see where their feud started, can't you? Their rivalry beginning here and with that match, or at least that helping to fan the flames of it. And of course, over the years they go on to become amazing rivals. They gain a huge friendship and respect for each other. Former tag team champions together, let's not forget. And it's always fun seeing Musso versus Reynolds. I have no doubt we'll see them in action opposite each other again at some point in the not too distant future, perhaps here on Wrestling Showdown Rewind. Now, what would be better than seeing live W3L action? We'd love to bring that to you as soon as we can, but obviously our hands are somewhat tied. We can only do as the government allows, and currently it is not feasible for us to bring you live shows. These are the dates we currently have rescheduled. We are working with our venues and with all parties involved to try and bring you shows when it's safe to do so. Obviously the health and safety of you, the W3L fans, is our prime importance. So as soon as we can bring you live action, we certainly will. But these are the dates currently I've scheduled. All original tickets are still valid, so if you've got them from April, keep them. You will not lose out on anything whatsoever. And hopefully you can come out and see us on these events. Also thank goes to Crafty Connoisseur for supporting us through this time. They're sponsoring all of our live events, and that last year, doing it this year too. Check out their website, make a purchase from them, and tell them that we said hello. Speaking of purchases, why not pick up a fan support package? Again, they only start at £5, so there's literally an option to suit every budget, and it helps keep W3L going until we can bring you live events again. You can get a fan support package which gives you not only cheap ringside tickets, but you get a DVD, a signed poster, and an exclusive video message from a W3L star of your choice. That, along with t-shirts and DVDs and stuff, all available from our website, W3LWrestling.com. Send to the mailing list while you are there, and you'll get a periodical email about what's happening in W3L. Give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, join us over on Instagram. Subscribe to this channel, as I've said multiple times over the years, and you'll be notified every time we put an additional wrestling show that evening, or need anything else. For example, like Mike Musso's Bitter Truth podcast. He's got a new episode in the offing, look out for that. And make sure you use that hashtag. What do you think to the early Musso versus Reynolds rivalry? Lots of cool stuff going on there, right? We've got tons more amazing rewind matches for you in the future. Some stuff is going to blow your mind. One may turn your stomach, but more on that in the weeks to come. If you hit subscribe, you'll be notified and you'll eventually see what I mean, but you've probably got a month before that one comes out. You'll see what I mean in due course, but suffice to say we've got some exciting things happening, so make sure you join me back here every single Sunday at 12 o'clock on Wrestling Showdown Rewind as I dip into the W3L archives yet again, and we bring you another classic match here on Wrestling Showdown Rewind.